What's up, Hicks Nation? It's been a hot minute since I've done a video for you guys. You guys probably didn't notice it's been a couple weeks. But like I said on one of the rants, I've had some new chemo and it's kind of kicked my butt. And last weekend I wasn't even able to, usually on a chemo weekend I'll do something in the garage. I wasn't even able to come out here last weekend. It's just been kind of rough. So we're going to get back into it. We're going to get back into it with the Old Town Sportsman 106 powered by Minn Kota. Now, I didn't do as many reviews on the Seaghost. We didn't walk through my fishing setup. But this boat right here, the Old Town Sportsman, is a $3,000. I've said before it was $28,000. Well, it's already gone to $3,000 since I bought it. It's a $3,000 kayak. So what I'm going to do today, we've done a test on the water. We've done an unboxing. I'm going to do a stock review of what it comes with stock and what you can expect to get with it. I'm also going to do in the Army, usually when you're trying to decide for a mission or something, they always say when you go to the boss and tell him what you can and can't do, or you advise him, what's the so what? Why does he care? So I'm going to try to give you the so what behind some of these things that I asked myself when I was looking up videos of these things stock to see if it would work or not. So without further ado, let's get into it. Alright guys, so we're going to do a real quick review of the Old Town Sportsman 106 powered by Minn Kota. This is the stock review. Part of the reason why I got it out today, if you'll notice, I finally, with the break into chemo, got my lettering on. It's a little crooked, it took me a minute. I'm a little finicky about my lettering, I like it to be right. But that's part of the reason I already had it out. So let's go ahead and do it. So we're going to start in the rear. One of the things that you're going to get with the Old Town 106 powered by Minn Kota, one thing I really like, the whole design's real stable. You guys saw that in another video. Is this the double handles in the back. It's not a little boat for 10'6". This makes a huge difference when you're lifting it with another person or whatever. Being able to grab it like this. You've also got a spot here for a power pole. You really have a spot for two if you want to drill some holes. But again, this is meant for you to not to have to drill. And you can go ahead and mount a power pole right there. One of the things I do like about it coming stock is this is huge. Not a lot of the kayaks out there do not come with blooper right there. I thought my phone was on that joker. A lot of them do not come with a rudder this large, and that's what, if you go back to the on the water review, the size rudder here is what caused me to be able to get that turning radius that I was getting. One of the things you're going to find is this is a super spacious tank well for a 10'6" boat. This is huge, and I'm going to show you how big it is here in a minute. And you also get this guy right here. This guy is just a cover plate for where your motor goes. So if you want to paddle it, you can pull the cover plate out. Now, one of the things I wanted to know, speaking of the space here in this hatch, when I was looking at videos, is if you're like me and you have an old school Yeti cooler, I've already paid money for my Yeti. I've got a Yeti. Does it fit in here? Well, I'm going to go ahead and show you mine. Now, I have the old school Yeti Roadie. They make them differently now. This is my Yeti Roadie. This is for many people who kayak, a 10'6" kayak is not typically going to carry this amount of stuff. That is a Yeti Roadie in a 10'6" kayak, and you can see, give you an idea of how spacious, there's still space on the sides. So literally, if you went saltwater fishing, like just for fun, you could literally put your beer, water, and ice in here and still have space for your catch on top. And if you needed another cooler for your catch, you could put it back there. So yes, to answer your question, a Yeti Roadie fits in here, and you still got about 3 to 4 inches on either side. So if you have a wider Yeti already, and you're like, is that kayak gonna fit it? Yes, it will. One of the things I do like about it too is they have 2 flush mounting rod holders and the amount of gear tracks back here. Now, negative on the gear tracks. I put the Roadie in here. You can see where it sits right here. The big issue there is they really need some tracks right here, so that there's a way to tie something down. If something is up here next to you, like the roadie, I'll show you. If I have the roadie in here and I need to tie it down, you can typically put a strap through there. Now I could put it through there, but it's not quite set for that. You could move it back, but then you've got this space in the front. There are ways you can manipulate it. I know some of you may look at this and come up with some better ideas than me, but just an improve. There could be some tracks right here, and that would definitely help out a little bit. But just to give you an idea of how spacious this thing is, for again a 10-foot 6-inch kayak. Moving to the front, I told you guys before when we unboxed it, but I really want to get into it now. So here's the seat. The seat is extra wide and extra comfortable compared to the Vibe seats. It's relatively similar. There's my Vibe seat right there. Relatively similar, but this is wider, and I could tell when I sat in it. This is wider and it is a lot more comfortable. So underneath the seat, coming in stock, before we get into that, this is your throttle. Again, this is a electric motor, battery powered kayak, just like a boat, forward, reverse. And then you have a battery test right there that will tell you what your battery charger is. Underneath your seat is where your battery box goes. This is pretty neat. Like, this is pre-made. You don't have to do any of this. That's why it's so expensive. But if you're just trying to get on the water and not do all the DIY, that's why. So the battery box, it comes like this. It's already pre-wired. And you can see that I got a 12-volt 100-amp-hour lithium-ion battery. All you got to do is get your battery, get it in here, hook it up, get the box in here. Once you get the box in here, so this is the clip to make sure the lid is on the box, and then this is the clip to make sure the box stays in the kayak. Once you're done with that, you literally just plug it up. Well, if I can figure out how to plug it up, here we go. I'm a beginner. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. No, I'm not. Bam. You can see that it's working. Kind of gives you an idea of battery. You can see I don't have, like, I'm missing some because I haven't charged it since I used it on the water. And then forward, reverse, forward, reverse. I don't have the motor plugged up, but I can here in a minute. So there's the battery box, and we'll go over batteries later. What I got for mine, if you guys want to go ahead and know now, there are a few different types of batteries you can get. You can get Dakota Lithium Ion is a very large brand, and so is Amped Outdoors. Like I've said before, those are $900 batteries. I was able to find this one, Amper Time, on Amazon for 500 bucks. So it's still lithium ion. It's still an all-weekend battery. Like, this thing, I towed Wildman the other day, and I haven't charged it, and I'm not even to halfway. I didn't lose any power. I mean, this thing has been wonderful. And it doesn't take up near the amount of weight of my hull capacity that I need, or that I don't want to lose with a lead acid battery. So we'll go over batteries later, but you can find cheaper ones than $800 or $900 bucks. Now there are some caveats to that. Like, I have to charge it inside, but you know, it is what it is. So there's that. You got your chair, you got your battery. That's how your battery hooks up. Actually, you know what? Let's leave the battery hooked up real quick. All right. So moving to the front, things that come with it. It says top for people just like me. All right. So moving to the front. In the front, you have a very spacious hull, and you can't see it now because I've got the motor up and I've got it on a table, so I can't put it down. But when it's down, it's a very spacious hull, and you could see in the previous video how easy it was for me to stand up in. Hi, there goes my neighbor flying through. This is a neighborhood, you jackaloon. I digress. All right, so very spacious. It already comes with deck padding, like I said before in the video with Chris. That's a big plus because, like I said with the Sea Ghost, I had to pay for this deck padding. This is additional. Like, this does not come with it. This comes with your price. On top of that, I'm going to get to the motor. I realize that. You got gear tracks. I like these gear tracks because it's not overkill, but it's not too little. It's perfectly placed on the left and right sides, kind of where you need it. And you'll also notice for an open hole design, you've got all these slots on both sides for your phone. I think I used last time, I had my phone in one and I had my speaker in the other. I didn't really use them to their full capacity. Like you really can kind of get a little bit more out of them. I haven't quite figured out, like I said, like how to fish this. So you've got the slots for accessories, so on and so forth. You got 2 cup holders, which is pretty nice. I mean, by the time you lay all that out, you've got everything you need. One more thing before I get to the front, get to the motor real quick, is that I enjoyed is that you can actually fit another tackle tray in here. It is not as good as the Vibes when it comes to the tackle trays. And you can see here, like this is where you latch the chair, blah, blah, blah. And you got to pull it back till this thing snaps, but you can put a tackle tray in here. You've also got this tray, which was actually really, really nice to have. It was really nice to have for switching out lures, that sort of thing. I wouldn't say to put a tackle tray in here, but just excess stuff. You know, a lot of people say, well, you're in a kayak, do you really want loose stuff? Like I said in the On the Water review, go look at it if you haven't looked at it yet. This thing is so stable, you are not flipping over in this thing. Unless you're in the ocean and you're at 4-foot swells, you are not flipping over in this thing. Before we move forward, so like I said, you see all this space. You can put a tackle tray in there, a couple tackle trays. Before we move forward, there's also one front facing rod holder. I will say I did not like this. I used my regular Yak Attack rod holders because this thing literally just keeps your rod like this. You cannot, if you are fishing with live bait in the water, this is not going to work. You need to have a couple of Yak Attacks so you can kind of canter them a little bit. Kind of get them off to the side, that way they're not getting tangled up, getting tangled. Now if you're just moving spots and you're bass fishing and you have to work the reel the whole time, this is fine. You just stick it in there and move spots. But if you're trying to do live bait, this is not for that. This is not very good for that. So that being said, there's that piece. Moving forward, so we've already talked about, this is how you steer the motor, left and right. What's going to happen with your left and right on your pedal steer is it's just going to move the rudder. This lever right here, just so you guys are aware, this is how you put your rudder in the water. It's a little different than the Sea Ghost where I've got the little pulley, right? Like I get it in the water and all I got to do, I get it in the water and all I got to do is this. And it kind of goes down a little weird. It did that to me the other day, but because of the cabling, it doesn't really matter. You just got to get it in the water and then your feet will adjust it. So there's that. Spacious up front. You've got all this gear, how you steer. Now let's get to the motor. When you put the motor in, you put it in right here. It's got instructions on how to put the, how to twist it and get it locked in. Once you get it locked in, you're going to plug it in. Boom, done. Now, when you get off the boat ramp, you don't want to put this down. You're going to hit the bottom just like I'm going to hit the table right now. When you get off the boat ramp, you go down with it. You put it down and you lock it in place. Now, if you'll notice in the video before, a lot of people make fun of me. Oh, he put it in reverse and didn't even have it locked. Well, I didn't have it locked on purpose, because if you drop this and you leave it unlocked, if you're fishing an area with a lot of woods, brush, whatever, you might hit the bottom and you don't know where the bottom is. In a boat this big, leave it unlocked. That way if you hit it, it's going to kick it back up versus hitting it and you messed up your prop. You cracked this piece of plastic. Which brings me to my next point. I need to order one, but I've heard a lot of people in the forum say go ahead and order one of these and a new prop. That way if something happens, you got an extra with you and you just fix it right then and there. You do not want to be trying to paddle this bad boy. This is a bus. This is definitely a bus. So this goes down, kicks down, put it in. Once you put it in, you're going to use your key. That's my registration. Just like the Bigsby, there's an automatic turn off switch. That's this. This goes in here after it's down, and that's how you know it'll yank out if you fall in the water, and it'll cut your motor off. So there's that. Then you got this other water. They say it's waterproof. I'd say it's probably just water resistant storage. Great place for your phone, whatever. I put mine over there, just I'm still trying to figure it out. All right, so the motor. Let's go ahead and kick it. So we got it plugged in. You want to go to the next spot? Check it out. Oh, I don't have the pin in it. I don't have the pin in it, guys. So we can't do it on this. We're not gonna be able to do it on this video because I really need to put it, I can put it closer to the ground with my cooler on one side and the C-Tug on the other so that I have some air to actually get it down. Once I get it down, then I'll just show you. But basically, you're just gonna see the darn thing turn. It is a good example of when the pin is not in there, it is not gonna work. So, 45-pound thrust Minn Kota motor. One thing you do get with it is a 2-year warranty on the motor, and you get a lifetime warranty on the hull. Wanted to go ahead and go over that. Moving forward on this bad boy, I think I showed you this in the unboxing. This thing is nice. So one thing I did not get a chance to go over in the on the water review, when that thing's down, you can imagine it's just so much easier than the Seaghost or a center console. I do like the center consoles, but if you have something in storage here, you don't have to go to the shoreline to get it out. You can literally, it's so stable, you can just stand up and walk to the front, open this thing up and get it out. It's also great, I'm going to put a battery box in here and show you guys that. That's going to be part of my setup. It's also great if you have a battery box in here. And the reason I say that is this thing comes ready for you to just hook it up and go, right? Like, so this is a through-hole wiring kit. This is a through-hole wiring kit. And that is a through-hole wiring kit. This right here is your slot for your transducer wire. And I'll show you on the bottom. It's got a spot to put your transducer. Now there's some aftermarket transducer things you can get from Navarre Fishing that will actually push your transducer up under your hull a little bit more to protect it, because it doesn't have a plate like the Seaghost. But if you want side imaging, you can do a side scan with that, the way it is. Because in the Seaghost you cannot. You are not going to get side scan imaging because the Seaghost does not have the space here, like it's up in the hull. So you can get a competition side scan fish finder and hook it up to this thing, and it's already ready. There's no drilling. All these things are already done for you. All right, so there it is, guys. Oh, one last thing. Not only does it have embedded rod storage in the back and right there on the side, these little notches, a lot of people ask me what they're for. They're for horizontal rod storage. So if you're going out, you can put your rod under your seat. Twist it a little bit. Boom. Typically, like for me, if I'm going out with just 2 rods, like if I'm doing some saltwater, I'm gonna have a bigger rod than that, right? And I'm usually only gonna take 2. Like if I'm doing salt, if I'm doing bass, I'm taking all 4 because I don't want to re-rig and stuff. You can just stick it like this when you're putting it on the cart and trying to walk it down to the water. You don't have to have all of your stuff just hanging off the top. You can stick it in like this and you don't have stuff hanging up and worrying about what's going to happen. So, you know, you got options for your rod storage. And this is all. So, there you go, guys. Alright guys, like I said, there it is, the Old Town Sportsman 106 powered by Minn Kota. That's a stock walkthrough. Like I said before, I know it's a lot of walkthroughs of this one boat. I'm just trying to do it because at this point, you talk about spending $3,000, and you guys are watching my channel to get these reviews. I want to give you as much information as I can. And everybody gives a lot of information about the Old Town Autopilot, but they don't really do a whole lot for the 106 powered by Minn Kota, the little baby brother. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So, like I say all the time, guys, I hope you guys got something out of this. If you did, do us a favor on the channel. Hit like, hit subscribe. Have a great week, Higgs Nation. Stay Higgs.